so it'll actually show up on the
Yep.
TV.
Yeah, but they've got a user interface that's really easy, so these
Everybody's
producers who are not super technically oriented,
Uh-huh.
they're able to grab what they need.
Was that right?
And
Okay.
just so, like, let's say somebody puts a controversial Facebook status post update up, they can grab that and put it up there, and then as they're talking about the newsfeed, it shows up nicely. And, or other times they'll do things like their viewers will make comments about stuff, and they want to say, well, Jane said, you know, and then they'll have Jane's comment, and then Joe said, and that'll come up, and so his software just makes it really easy to do that. So, yeah, so they've got a lot of television stations that are clients of theirs.
So it's not like an editing software, because it's real time or something, right?
Yeah, well, no, you can do it, you can preload it.
Oh,
You
okay.
can go grab the stuff and then preload it for the, so it's both.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and I don't know much more about it than that.
Otherwise, you'd basically be typing it in while it shows up.
Yes.
And that would be intense.
That would be-
Kind of bad for the user.
No, well, I know, it's, yeah, it's like a strain for everyone. I just didn't know if, like the lag that's in, like the delay that's already in, like broadcast or
Yeah,
TV.
well, I don't think his software has any additional delay. There's already like a 10-second delay.
Well, obviously, they have to actually read through it before they post it on the screen or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my limited experience with working with KSL for the stuff that I do with them is that, you know, everything's preloaded.
But to cue it, they're doing it because you don't know necessarily where somebody's gonna be when they're talking.
That's right.
Well,
So
they
that's
do
right.
do
Unless
something
there's like
as
breaking news or something, right?
Yeah.
And then they're, you know, and his doesn't only do static shots of text, but you can also grab like video from an Instagram feed or a video from a YouTube channel or whatever.
Yeah.
And same thing, you can play it. And again, that sounds like something you think a TV station would be pretty easy for them to do, but I guess it's really,
It depends if it's the whole video, basically the whole television that they're showing it, but usually they want to put other stuff on the TV to
Yep.
make more use of their room.
agreed. And that's what his software does. So we were just talking about Randall and Vidpresso and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, he's got a cool.
How's he been doing since he came back to use that?
He's been doing great. I mean, he's added more customers every month. And, I mean, he told me the other day that he onboarded like 5 new customers that day or something. And, you know, for a small shop to have 5 new television stations as customers, I would imagine that'd be a pretty good thing. So, but he's doing something really cool down at the Startup Ogden Space at Weaver State downtown. So there's probably, by the way, we have 3 spaces left on the top floor and 6 left on the second floor. So we have 9 spots of 85 left, and we've only been open for 3 weeks. So it's cranking.
Wow.
There's I don't know, I think about 8 people have signed up. We have a Google Plus community. It's the first time I've ever used Google Plus. I mean, I've used it, but used it regularly. For down there, it's actually been really useful. And he said, hey, you know, are there any non-technical people that are here, that are part of the community that want to learn how to code? And like 8 people said, yeah, I really want to learn. So what he does is once a day, for an hour, he sits down and they go through, is it Treehouse that does the online? So he grabs a Treehouse course, which is free, and he started at, you know, JavaScript 101 or what, I can't remember what they started. I think they did start with JavaScript. And they sit down at the table in the conference room and they just start working, and he works on his own stuff on Vidpresso, and if they get stuck, he just goes and helps them, and then he goes back to work. And he does that for an hour, and it's free. And
He gives them an assignment of some kind? and
What's
they-
that?
or He gives them an assignment, they're just working on it?
well, they just follow, so Treehouse has got its own course,
Oh, he
courses.
just follows that course?
Yeah, it's like today we're gonna do, I mean, literally they start out, today we're doing course 1 for Intro to JavaScript. And they would just start working on course 1, and they went for an hour, and he would just sit there and do other work. I mean, doesn't need to do it, right? And somebody was like, I don't understand this, or I'm stuck. He would just get up, go over there, and explain it to him. Oh, yeah, okay, and then he'd go back to work.
Code Academy is great that way.
What's that?
Code Academy?
Yeah, yeah.
It's, I mean, it just holds you back.
Similar concept, yep. But he's actually there live in person. They get stuck, and so we've got 8 people now that are learning JavaScript for free, that are just down there once a day
That's
for an
impressive.
hour, just kind of.
What's their background?
They're all kind of business type people, you know, marketing and sales and that kind
So
of
this is
stuff.
different than the Wednesday lunchtime thing.
Yeah, this
Okay.
just this is what I really honestly was just hoping would happen. People are doing stuff just on their own. Like he didn't ask permission, he didn't, you know, because if you're a $75 a month or more member, you can reserve the conference room whenever you want. So he just went in and booked the conference room. He went on Google Plus and said, hey, is there anybody that'd like to learn how to code? I'm thinking about doing this thing. And he made a little Google Plus event, and 8 people RSVP'd to it, and he He's done it for 2 weeks in a row now.
Hmm.
And they show up every day for an hour, and it just, so it's pretty cool. I mean, obviously, they're not going to become like, high-level developers or something, but at least they'll get a basic understanding.
That's great.
Probably, I think he's doing like 8 week. They do it every day for an hour for 8 weeks or something.
So do they have, so does he have other people down there? Or is it just him?
Just him. Big Bresso is a one-man shop.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think he contracts people out once in a while for stuff, but he does pretty much all of it. So, yeah. I think he's actually looking to hire somebody. He told me he is looking to hire a second developer. So, like full-time employee. So, but yeah, and there's a lot of little things like that going on. But the Wednesday thing, you guys should come to that.
Yeah.
It's called Hack Ogden event.
No.
It's every Wednesday at lunch. What you should do, so you have Gmail accounts, right? Are any of you active on Google Plus? So if you have a Gmail account, you get it. You just see. I think it just says plus is what they call it up the top. So click on plus. Go through the little skip this, skip that. You don't do anything they said, except for maybe add like a profile picture or something, right? So it doesn't have just the default like face with a question. And then once you're in Google Plus, well here, can I show you?
Sure.
Because I think this would be interesting to you guys. If I have it on here. Do I have Google Plus on here? That's mine. Yeah. I've got this, so I've switched to this as this is my main computer. It's been a bit of an experiment. I mean, I have my laptop and I have my desktop, but I leave them. I only use them for like hardcore spreadsheets, or I don't write code, so I don't really need that. But I'll tell you what, it's been awesome, because I take it with me wherever I go. And since it's got the LTE in it, I've always got internet pretty much. And the battery stays charged for days.
Is it really?
Oh, wow.
2 days, maybe more, depending on how much I use it. And it fits in my back pocket. It stretches, so I don't have to carry a bag or anything. I just take this and that's it. So.
Did you look at a spreadsheet on it if you wanted?
Oh yeah, yeah. You can
build a PowerPoint?
Can't build a PowerPoint, but I don't do that that often. I mean, really, I use email and the web and apps. And those are the three things. If I looked at my usage, I bet that's 85%, 90% of my usage. So for me, this works. The reason I'm showing you guys this is anybody can join the community. So you go, when you're in Google Plus, you hit home, and then it's got the menu. You click communities, and then and then you just search Startup Ogden in the communities, and then you join it. And what you will find there is this. So this is just various updates about, so this was yesterday. Hack Ogden, they meet every Wednesday from 12 to 1 on the second floor conference room, and it's free lunch. And yesterday the whole thing was about Raspberry Pi. And this guy he's an expert on Arduino and that kind of stuff. But that's all it was. The week before that was about Bitcoin. Oh, that's what. So every week there's a topic. And Neaters provided lunch yesterday and stuff. So and then so this guy Jonathan Douglas, he's doing this event. Let's look at it. And he just did this on his own. It says we often think about what and how we will build something, but how much consideration do we actually take? When you walk away from this session, you will understand the differences between software architecture and design, and how we can start thinking about implementing these principles into our future projects. In future sessions, we will go into much more detail on each topic and learn the pros and cons of different patterns. So anyway, he's got 3 people that have signed up to go, 4 that are maybe. You can see these are the 3 people that are going to be there. And
The calendar of events at my last work.
is it really?
Yeah.
So it's free, and Jonathan just set that up in the conference room. But if you join, you can find out everything that's going on here. So you can watch videos of different events, or you can learn about different events, or you can find out where everybody's sitting. Like these are the latest city charts and stuff. So anyway, it's the first time I've actually really found Google Plus to be kind of useful. I haven't really.
Everybody's joined essentially.
Yeah. So, but you guys, I'd be fine with it if you guys wanted to join it too. We have a student membership. It's $50 a month. That gives you unlimited access to the building. It's open 24/7. We have fiber into the building, so it's faster even than the university's network. because it has no restrictions and no filters, so it's just make it fast. I mean, it's like, depends on your device, obviously, right, because that limits the speeds, but from a well equipped laptop, you get probably 200 to 250 down and up, so, pretty good, right?
Good, yeah.
Yeah, so hasn't seemed to, and it's steady. I mean, it's steady because it is run by neighbors. And then you can go to any of the free events, and so it's a pretty good deal. I mean, it's still $50, and it's month to month. So if you didn't want to do it in the summers, or if you did it for a few months and found that you weren't using it very often or whatever, but it would be cool. I don't know what it says for a day. It'd be cool for college, buy a couple of $50 cards and let students go down and do some.
Check it
Yeah,
out.
okay.
Yeah, just have a couple here in your office, let people kind of use them when they want to. Because you don't get a
Yeah.
reserved spot for that, you have to go down and just find a seat. But there's plenty of actually the coolest spots to sit are like the couches and the game stations and that kind of stuff. Those are not reserved, so that's where the $50 folks generally sit. They're pretty cozy, pretty comfortable.
Mhm.
So that'd be kind of cool.
That would be.
I want to, I say that, and you guys are like, yeah, Dean, that sounds awesome. Why don't you do that?
Well, I was gonna ask you, why do you sign up for that, because I would do it on my own anyway.
Awesome. So right now, so the campus store on the ground, you guys know where it is?
Yeah.
So the campus store opens January 7th. When they open, you can do it anytime they're open. So, but don't wait that long. Right now we do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to noon. So the next time and it's on the second floor, so you go around the east side and go in that main level, and they'll onboard you, they'll get you your card and give you you should already be able to link to the network, because there's a WS Secure down there. You should use your same credentials and you still log on here. Now, there's one additional membership above that, it's $75 a month, and that lets you reserve the conference room. So if you wanted to, I'm not saying you would, but if you wanted to have meetings, or like Dave Matty signed up at that level. He came down and signed up, because if you want to reserve a conference room, like let's say at the Hilton, it's $200 to $300 a day. You have to use their food, and their internet sucks. So you can buy a $75 membership from us, and the conference room is first come, first serve, and it's a killer conference room. We don't care what food or drink you serve, it's up to you, and our internet's awesome. And the room it's as big, it's about the same size as this, I would say, taller ceiling, but it seats, I think it has like 16 seats at it. So Dave signed up, he's a dean of the College of Science. Is it science and engineering? Just science. Engineering scare. I've only been here 3 years, so I think I'd get that by now.
Yeah, it's a little bureaucracy.
Yeah. But he really just did it. I mean, he's going to come down and work there, I bet, once a month or something. I won't see him down there very often. But he's going to have a lot of his team meetings and stuff, kind of to get people off campus.
Yeah.
And they can have beer there and stuff. And it's not a campus.
That's true.
It's not considered a campus, so the same rules don't apply. You don't have to use the XO. You can get whatever food you want. And so there's some reasons that appeals to folks.
So is it good for, like, if you're working on your own project, that you could go in and
That's
vote
what-
somebody anytime?
That's what it's
with
for.
the
man.
membership? Oh, okay.
Everybody's down there helping each other,
Okay.
working on stuff. And if you're the only folks that might kind of bug people are the non-technical types,
Okay.
because if they're kind of. But so far we haven't had any problems. People have been really cool and respectful.
Yeah.
And it ended up happening like this thing with Randall. Like, he could tell there were some people there that kind of wanted to learn but didn't want to bug anybody. So he just said, well, why don't I just set this up, and then you can kind of teach yourself, but
Yeah.
I'll be supervision over here if you need help, right? So, but since you're learning this stuff and know some of this stuff,
Mhm.
you actually would get a lot of mentorship and a lot of talented developers like Randall that would probably actually want to help you.
Wow.
Like, I'm trying to learn this, or I don't understand that, or what do you
That's
think about this?
huge.
Yeah, so anyway, the $50 membership was really designed for students mostly, and other people, because it's not, it's not nothing, but it won't bankrupt anybody, And the month-to-month was definitely designed for students. Like, look, if you want to take the summer off, or money gets tight, for a few months or whatever, you can turn it off, turn it on, that kind of thing, so. Yeah, but I think you guys would really enjoy working down there. I mean, that's where I'm going right after this, I'm going right back down there, so, yeah, what's
Guys
that?
are gonna be there 9 to 5 till
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I told you I got into a PhD program.
I think you told me you were trying to do
I got
something.
in.
In Kansas?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, Oklahoma State.
Wow.
Pretty good. Well, the best, the top entrepreneurship. So it's a full PhD, fully accredited, Oklahoma State's a good school, but it's for people that don't wanna quit their job, and move there. So it's kind of like a PhD for executives kind of thing. So you get to pick so of those kinds of programs, which there's, 2 dozen in the country or whatever, it's the best one, it's the top one.
Wow. How
So
do you
yeah.
get in? Do you just submit a proposal?
I had to do a lot, so I did a 5 to 6 page statement of interest, and then I did a 2 to 3 page kind of about me, and then I had 3 letters of recommendation, and a letter from my master's program, all my transcripts, my GMAT, all that stuff, and that got me through the first round. In the second round, I did a 12 to 15 page research proposal. And an in-person interview. I flew out there, and that was that, and then they made their decisions after that. So my cohort's pretty. I should show you my cohort. It's like the CFO of American Airlines, the senior vice president of Merrill Lynch, like some really smart, talented folks. Because everybody's from so California to New York. We all fly in. We fly into Oklahoma once a month for 4 days. So we get there on a Wednesday night and we work all day Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we fly on Sunday, and it's 3 years. So first 2 years are research, and coursework, and study, and class, and that kind of stuff. And the third year is the dissertation. So it's gonna be really intense. I've already started, so I just started this month. So
Congratulations.
thanks, man. It'll be good to hopefully,
Executive PhD. So a lot of these folks thinking about teaching at some point? Is that
Yeah.
where they're?
a lot of people want to get into education. In fact, I'm the only person in the program that's already in education. Everybody else is a kind of a high-powered executive at a big company or something. So it is kind of a,
What about the age range of the math?
yeah, I'm the youngest.
The youngest.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the average age is probably about 50, I would guess, is my guess. Just a guess,
Okay. Well, I'm taking up time from these guys.
Yeah, sorry.
I can talk to you
Yeah,
anytime.
yeah. So, anyway, so I don't even know how you saw, I posted on Google Plus that I'm gonna be there late tonight working on a paper for that. So, and I will, I'm not gonna go home tonight till it's done, so. And that's a cool thing, it's open 24/7, so you can come down there. So, this is also not a commercial for that, so we can talk about, so the topic originally was gonna be how to actually generate revenue on the internet. So we can talk about that if you guys want, or we can talk about your own, since there's only 3 of you, we can talk about kind of your own individual questions about, maybe.
I have one thing about search that I was
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah.
I'm doing a site for a small restaurant and catering company right now.
Okay.
And, I was kind of telling them about some of the stuff we talked about last meeting and, how they need to kind of actively engage and things like that. Keep their site kind of, like you said about Stack Overflow, like just keep
Keep it fresh.
Yeah, keep it fresh. They don't want to do that.
Why not?
They're too late. They say they're too busy, and they're probably too lazy. But are there other ways for just something that's static to boost the
So it's something that happens kind of automatically without them having to do much of the work, or?
yeah, I guess that's if that's an option. Yeah, that's what
So do they, I guess I would dive deeper with them. How do they get their customers right now? Phone
Word
book
of
or
mouth, yeah.
word of mouth? or
They
what
have,
else?
well, their catering company is really successful, and now they're just opening this restaurant. And,
Where at?
It's in Kansas City.
So, is that where you're from? Cool. I guess my first thought with somebody like that is I would try and get them enough data to show them their customers eventually are, that the new word of mouth is social media. That their next generation of customers, maybe not their current generation of customers, but their next generation. I mean, are they planning on being in business for a while? Or do you think that's,
Oh yeah.
they got another 20 years ahead of them of running the company? And, yeah, so I mean, then it should matter to them for their next round of customers. The problem with, this is more of a business discussion, but the problem with a lot of small business owners, they don't feel like they have the luxury of looking that far ahead. They can kind of only handle like what's on their plate today or what's on their plate this week. And they're not really willing to think about, what's going to be on their plate a month from now, a year from now, 2 years from now. They just kind of handle it as it happens. So what you're asking them to do is make an investment kind of in the future, because right now they're as busy as they want to be. But one day, they'll be sitting there and they'll think, why are my customer counts going down? Why are my volumes not every business, I mean, it's not like a death sentence if they
Yeah.
don't do this stuff, but
And for
it's,
restaurants, it should be easy because you have specials and things like that.
yeah, you've got a lot to offer, right? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, so, but man, that's tough, because the answer is, you can do that stuff, but eventually, the stuff that Google does, the updates, it kills it. I mean,
Mhm.
so if you have to have kind of a human being that cares,
Yeah.
that's writing and updating and if you want it to work
So maybe
for an
somebody
extended period of
understand.
time. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if they say, look, we don't have the time and willingness to do it, but do they believe in it enough to maybe hire a part-time person to do it for them?
Mhm.
You know, maybe as a starter kind of a thing, but there's really not a lot that you can do that's automated or that can be done for them
Yeah.
that won't eventually actually probably hurt them more than help them. It's like I was talking about last week, a lot of times you do that stuff, kind of that automated content and like automated tweeting and automated updates and things like that. A lot of times you'll get banned from those networks if they find out you're doing that, because it's totally against their terms of service.
Are there people out there that do, like on Elance or whatever, that are just basically social media occupants?
Yes. And that's okay, because then it's a real, I mean, as long as they're not automating it, like writing some script or something that just randomly spews out tweets or you know, like, what do they call it? Content spinning. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Hmm.
So content spinning is what they do is they take an article and they plug it into these programs and it spins the article and like changes like uses different words that mean the same thing.
Mhm.
So technically the article's different, but it's really the same. And then they spin these articles and they post them on all these sites and Google's figured that out. And now they those sites
I
get
have heard of this.
crashed, yeah, so.
You just basically rearrange the language, right?
Yeah, so it's like,
Yeah.
you can use like one word, you might be able to use
Yeah.
10 words to mean the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So what these programs do is that you input the document and they just change a bunch of the words.
Yeah.
So it technically reads differently,
There's another.
but
name
it
for
makes the exact same point. I mean, it's
Yeah.
totally the same exact intent is there. And that used to work because you can imagine, if you've got software doing that, you could spin these articles out by the dozens, you know, every day, right? And they would. And it looked new. And Google would be like, wow, you know, look at all the new content these sites are putting up. And so, but now and it's not just now, like I don't want to say a year or more ago, one of their updates, they figured that out and that stuff that's because what they did is they just figured out how that software works and then they just trained their bots to look for those same exact kinds of things
Mhm.
and boom, done, dead.
Mhm.
So you really do have to do it. But to your point, you can hire kind of inexpensive folks to provide real content refreshes, but quality is usually really low. And the other thing is they just don't ever know enough about the business to really put interesting stuff out there. It's usually pretty boring, even and not that relevant,
Yeah.
because they're just not in the trenches. I mean, you're hiring some social media consultant or some search engine or some like a blogger or somebody to write content for your site, and you're in Kansas City running a catering shop and opening a new restaurant, and they're in Seattle working in a coffee shop that, you know, doing this for 14 other companies besides
Mhm.
you. You're pretty hard pressed to find somebody that's going to do a great job, you know, even though it's affordable. So the best thing to do, I think, is to find yourself honestly like a part-time student, because that generation usually really understands social media, and so you don't have to train them on how all the different platforms work. That is like an English major or a journalism major or something where they're a good writer, because that's really the key. So is somebody that can write well. They don't have to have all these crazy marketing skills. In fact, a lot of times marketers write poorly. So, you know, that's what I used to do anyway. And I know a lot of other people that do that too. And they can be affordable, and then they're there. So like you get, let's say you get somebody that's a full-time English major, and you pay them 20 hours a week, you know, they'll come to your office at your catering place, or they'll come to your restaurant and they'll learn about, you know, how the place works and what the menu's about and what the owners want and that kind of stuff. And then they can actually start to be a decent voice for the owners. 'Cause
So new trade-offs, maybe like give them a little.
maybe, yeah. Although I think that's against the law.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because you still have to pay minimum wage, and so if they cut price of a meal doesn't equal minimum wage, and I think
Oh.
you're breaking labor laws. What's that?
Fancier.
That's right. That's true. I mean, whatever the price of the, you know, if it's a $50 steak, you know, that just bought you 4 hours, right? So,
Well, this one's a-
fine. So anyway, long answer to a short question, but I think the first thing is educating them to understand kind of where their customers are going to start coming from, and then say, if that doesn't work, which probably won't, we'll say, yeah, we believe that, we totally believe that's true, but we'll just deal with that in 2 years when it's coming. That's a common answer. So they say, well, what if we start working on it now, so that in 2 years you're not blindsided, but we can find an affordable way to do it, and that's where you get the part-time kind of English journalism, those kinds of folks to, and they love those jobs, because they just want to write. So they like doing research, they like writing, so it's a good mix.
Okay.
For restaurants, I think you just post daily specials, like maybe some deals on such and such meals each day. Keep that updated. That would be real content, and it would be relevant, and it would
Absolutely. Totally.
be press.
And people will react to it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a call to action, right? So you're saying, hey, 2 for 1 today. Buy one, get one free type stuff, those kinds of things. I mean, restaurants are about the easiest thing in the world to market on the internet, because you can offer those kinds of things. So, yeah. The other thing, this is just another marketing thing, but one of the big things that people like that help them is making sure that you have stuff in place to show them if it's working or not. Because a lot of times it just feels like this black box, like, yeah, we're tweeting, yeah, we're updating our Facebook, yeah, we've got a website, but we don't have any idea if any of those people are actually booking catering or buying from our restaurant because of it. And so there's
So always provide feedback.
well, there's a really old school way to do it, actually. You put, and this ties into my revenue generation topic a little bit. You put offers in these places that's the only place they exist. So if they get redeemed, you know it came from that channel.
So use the code, whatever.
Yeah, code or a specific offer. Instead of
Yeah.
doing 2 for 1, do 3 for 1. Or so, you know what I'm saying? You can experiment with things.
Like
Instead-
online deals, you print this receipt, you get a, I don't know, 20% discount on something.
That's I'm talking even easier than that, because you're making the customer do something there. You're making
Yeah.
print something out and bring it to you. I'm saying like the way so this will date me a little bit, but back in the day when I used to own a lot of restaurants actually.
Oh, really?
And well, I owned myself like 30 some odd restaurants, and I was an investor and partner in over 200. And so one of the things we used to do was Yellow Page ads. That was back when people used to look for restaurants in the Yellow Pages. And every restaurant had a unique phone number for that ad. So if that line rang, we knew they got our phone number from the phone book. And we would just track that, because we would just look at that bill and see how many incoming phone calls we had on that number. And then we could kind of come up with a little version of ROI on that ad, if it was worth it, because we were getting 50 calls a day or 50 calls a week or whatever. So a similar concept of that, and then you do some unique offers that only exist, like if it's going to be a Facebook offer of some sort, and Facebook actually does offers now. Have you guys tried any of them or seen any of them? It's pretty cool. You can actually do an offer on Facebook, where they can actually redeem it on Facebook, and then it goes to their Facebook account on their phone, and then they just show their phone and redeem the offer. So it's pretty slick. But you just make sure that offer for that catering deal, or that offer for that restaurant offering like you're talking about, just make sure that offer doesn't exist anywhere else, and then you'll know. And it's easy for your staff to know too. Like it's just old school. Sometimes you just have a little thing they just track that kind of stuff. But I think that's really important for folks that are a little bit skeptical or hesitant. If you can show them that it's working, and that there's an ROI, a return on their investment there, the skepticism goes away. What most people don't do that though. Most people do kind of black box it. They just throw some money in there and throw some time in there and effort, and just kind of, well, I'm supposed to be doing this, so I guess I'll do it. So
Yeah.
and that's not very scientific at all.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, good
Makes
question.
sense.
Yeah, good question. So some other stuff about revenue generation, and interrupt me or ask me your own questions at any time. So there's a couple of tools that I found, mostly just by watching now. I don't really do it anymore. In fact, I don't do it all anymore. It's kind of, sometimes kind of miss it, but not enough. I'm glad
Get busy.
I'm glad I'm here. I don't know if you heard this, but the U-Star director stepped down today. Ted McAleer, you know Ted? He stepped down today, and we learned about it on Monday that he was going to step down. And it was a very nice compliment, but I got a few phone calls, a few emails, and I'm like, no, I'm not money in the world gave me to leave Weber State. I mean, I really mean it. Like, they could offer me $1 million a year, and I said, no way, no thanks. So.
Well, that would be interesting to use stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, but I love it here, man. I am so happy here, and it's so much fun. But my point was, I don't miss it enough to ever leave Weber. So, but I stay close to it. So there's a couple of things over the last 2 years that have proven to be massively successful tools to generate money and generate revenue online. You you guys have any guesses as to, like, so I'm talking like, third-party websites and,
Amazon.
good guess, no? That's a channel, right? I mean, using Amazon to sell your product through as a channel. I'm talking more like a marketing tool or something online or a third-party site that you can use to really, just guess.
Analytics or?
Nope, no, it's actual, two tools. One of them is available to everyone, you use it every day. And the
Google.
other's a, nope, the other's, keep guessing though. The other's a third-party site that's relatively new in the last few years.
Homepage, use it, maybe your homepage or something.
Nope. Just keep guessing.
Are you talking like a product that someone, provides?
It's not social media, it's sort of.
Yeah, one of them is social
Oh,
You
media.
say like YouTube or Facebook or?
Oh, yeah. They're good, those are good. Those are good, but still not yet.
Twitter?
Yeah, can be really good. A lot of studies indicate Twitter is more effective than Facebook, and Facebook's more effective than Twitter. It just really depends on what you're selling. So, Pinterest. Pinterest has in the last year, Pinterest has made it possible for people to buy stuff through their site. They've added the ability to kind of.
But they haven't monetized Pinterest yet, though, have they?
They haven't for themselves,
Yeah.
but they made it possible for other people to
do
monetize stuff.
that.
Yeah, and so and I mean I'm talking to businesses like every couple of weeks. They're just raking it in because they've got Pinterest has got a lot of traffic, and the traffic are people that want to spend money. The reason they're there is because they're looking at things they can consume, so or things they can buy or things they can make or build or whatever. That's why they're there, and so the traffic is the highest converting traffic of any third-party referral. But there's still one thing that beats out. So they're the highest third-party referral site that I'm aware of. I mean, it's the 80-20 rule, right? I mean, like, there's 80% of the time Pinterest will be probably the number one. If you learn how to use it, 20% of the time it's like not even gonna work for you. So it depends on what kind of product or service. So I'm speaking in a bit of a generic bubble. But there is one that is universally the most powerful tool to generate money on the internet for almost any product or service. It's something you use every day. Everybody uses it every day.
You're thinking Adobe or
It's not a website, it's a tool that you use
it's
every
like
day.
an advertisement or something.
You use it multiple times a day.
This is gonna drive me nuts.
No,
The only thing I can think of I use that often is Google.
I'm thinking like, what do I do today?
It's
I
not a
drive
website.
somewhere.
It's a tool that you use
I drive somewhere,
all day, every day. 10 times.
I get on the computer.
What's that? Uh-huh.
It's what?
What do you do?
Yeah, what do you,
Is
all
it
day,
web-based?
And it's on,
yeah. Web-based and app-based. You might use it 50 times today.
Canvas?
You know what it is?
I'm guessing, but I'm not gonna say anything.
I just want you to, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you. This is just fun.
Not Google.
Nope, it's not a website.
Oh, okay, it's not a
Nope.
website, okay.
Everybody owns their own.
What does it say? So is it a phone?
Your IP address?
Nope. Close.
DNS server?
ISP?
Is it a protocol?
Nope, not that complicated. Something simple that everybody owns that they use 50, 20, 30 times a
Do they
day.
use it to communicate?
Yes, they do.
Do they communicate one-on-one or one-to-many?
Both.
Email?
Email.
Oh my god.
Oh!
Which is funny because the 2 times my phone beeped while I was sitting here that I looked at it, it was email.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So that is still by far the most effective way to generate revenue on the internet is email marketing. Believe it or not.
Really?
Yep, by far. Blows away. In almost every case, there's exceptions to every rule, but in almost every case, a good email marketing campaign will generate more dollars for a
Isn't it so
website.
hard now with all the restrictions that like guys that live in those places and like
They,
With spam filters?
yeah, like spam
Well,
sets in and
but I think you're thinking about email marketing not quite the right way.
oh
I'm talking about opt-in email marketing.
oh okay yeah, yeah.
So yeah, if you're buying lists and you're spamming people or you're, sending out, I'm talking about people that have signed up to receive emails from you and want them.
Ah,
Yeah.
So
that makes more
these
sense.
are existing customers or people who have indicated they want to be a customer, right? Because they say, yeah, send me email.
Whether
Or
they
they
meant to or
haven't,
not.
That keeps
yeah, or they haven't unsubscribed or they don't unsubscribe, right?
Yeah.
So that group of people that you can market to buys more on almost every occasion than anybody else you market to through any other channel. So, but a lot of people just skip over it. They go straight to the sexy stuff. I can have an Instagram feed, and that's, you know, you
Yeah.
convert traffic that way and stuff.
See, that's the thing, is there a line with that stuff? Like, do you get, like, should you only do, like, is there like the right frequency of mailers and social media posts?
Yeah.
You
So
don't
that
want
you
to,
don't scare people away?
ideally, you just want to, at max, for a regular customer, email them once per day.
That's too much. If you're gonna do
Yeah,
email
that
marketing,
makes-
that's too often.
Is there a magic number? Or is it-
No, you test, that's the thing, it's fairly scientific, actually. So do any of you guys use MailChimp?
Yeah.
So MailChimp is a really cheap, I think they
Yeah,
even have a free
it's cool.
package, right? So it's email marketing's, web-based.
They do have.
Web app.
You can only do like up to 2 or 500.
Okay, so but you can at least try it.
Yeah.
And they help you, you know, not only create cool emails, but, you know, track them and see who opens them and who clicks on them, if they forward them and read them, and how long they open them for, and if they open them, and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of it's just A/B testing, you know, sending stuff out to different groups, like you send 200 out to this group, 200 out to this group, 200 out to this group, and see what happens to the open rates and the click rates and all that kind of stuff. But with email marketing, it's really about kind of building the list. So the list is, you know, how do I get people to want to receive emails from me? And so there's lots of ways to do that. You can drive them to do that through these other channels. But to answer your question, you know, like, is there a frequency? There are kind of
Rules.
best practices, sort of, I guess. But again, I think it can be somewhat modified depending on the business that you're in. Or
Yeah, if
what
you do
you're
it too often, it annoys the customers. If you do it too rarely, the customers will just ignore it.
Agreed. So most best practice says it for a brand, for a company, 2 to 3 updates a day is pretty good, as long as they're well thought out. You're not just posting
For
stupid
social
stuff.
media, right?
Yep, yeah. And for email, once a week.
Okay.
That's considered generic best practice for a business in terms of how to communicate with customers. In terms of how many, I think I said this last time, generally I tell people, I think everybody should be doing email marketing and building a list. I really don't, like your folks again in Kansas City, they should be getting emails of all their customers. And then they should be periodically sending them out, you know, specials, special offers, reminders that the busy season's coming and they book really fast and things like that. And I'm sure they can come up with some ideas around that, but that's a list that you can never stop building at, and it always will add value. So, but beyond that, I think I said this last time, and I'll say it again, is that, you know, really, if it's something that you're relatively new to, or you don't have a special talent or interest in it, then you want to pick 2 networks. And if I were trying to make money specifically off the networks, I think Pinterest would definitely be in that mix for me. And then depending on your audience and your demographic, probably, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram are probably the other, you know, in terms of monetization. There's some cool stuff for retail type businesses like Foursquare and Yelp that are also, you know, interesting social plays those are only for brick and mortar. You know, I'm sure you're familiar with both of those. Those are, you have to check in and people write reviews and those kinds of things and stuff. So a lot of businesses that doesn't apply to them because they don't have a brick and mortar, you know, retail shop or restaurant that people can go frequent. So those kinds of ads don't really apply to them. So outside of that, I think you pick 2 from that group of basically 4: Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And you can try them and try a lot of different things, and then, you know, swap one out. Right? You're not getting locked in. Any of you guys use the site Quora? Quora. So it's a great.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so-
like you post a question on there, you get responses from people who really know what you want.
Yeah, and you can pay through Quora. You can pay Quora small amounts of money, and you can earn points over time, and you can get people that are the actual person. So let me give you an example. You should go there after this meeting and check it out. It's a question and answer site. So you post any question you want, and random people will answer, but typically they're very well qualified people. But you can also pay people, like you might say, what's it like to be a junior developer at Apple? What's the quality of life like? And you can find some people on Quora that are junior developers at Apple and offer them some Quora money, which is real money, to answer the question. And they will. I'll go in there. And it'll say, well, here's the question, and this is why I'm answering. Well, and they've been verified. Well, I am actually a junior developer at
Okay.
Apple, and this is what I think it's like to work here. And then those answers get voted up or down. So not only do you get highly qualified people answering the questions, then you get other smart people who are reading the answers that are voting the best answers to the top. So it's an awesome place to go for the answers about stuff. So I go there often. Like I would say, yeah, and a lot of times the questions don't exist, so then you end up being the first person to ask them. But you might say something like, what's the best social network to advertise on if you're a restaurant? I'd bet you $50 there's a lot of really good answers on there. And it'll be answers probably for people. It'll be somebody that'll answer the question, they'll say, I'm, Jane Smith, and I manage 20 million fans for 6 restaurants across 3 social networks for the last 5 years. Or something that makes you go, wow, they know what they're talking about, right?
Yeah.
And their answer might have been voted up by like 700 people. And then, of course, the social side of it, it'll show you, if you're connected, so when you sign up, it'll ask you if you want to know what Facebook friends and what Twitter friends and other networks that you have that are on there. It'll show you if any of your friends actually know to do that. So you can actually see, oh, wow, they voted this answer up, and I value Dave's opinion. So not only is it the top answer that 30 people voted up, but Dave and 5 other people I know, they're the first ones. So the list kind of shows like a dozen people, and then it kind of goes dot, dot, dot. You can click it and see the rest of the people that vote. But it always shows the people you know first. So I might look at that and go, wow, Dave's on that list, and Mike's on that list, and these other smart people that I know, they all voted it up, and this person's, their position makes them really qualified to answer it. So I go there often to look for answers to questions like this. They have all kinds of stuff, and then you can follow a question. And every time there's an updated answer, like a new answer that gets posted, then you get a little email if you want that says, hey, there's an updated. So, like I'm following a question. We own a lot. We're going to build a house sometime in the next 2 or 3 years, like not tomorrow or anything. There's a question on there that somebody posted. They're like, if you were building a house, like what cool things would you do if you were doing it again? And you've got all these engineers and all these really smart technical people that have built homes that have these rad ideas. And they're not expensive. A lot of them are just really smart.
Wow.
And so I follow that question. And every time a new answer comes up, I'm like, man, I'm totally doing that. So it's there's some really and things I never would have thought of on my own, and some of them are really creative. And like I said, a lot of them, maybe even less expensive than doing it the traditional way. It's just a lot smarter way of doing it. So anyway, it's kind of a plug for that site. One of the co-founders of Facebook that was in the movie with Zuckerberg is the guy that started Quora. I can't remember which one, Moskowitz or something like that.
How do you spell it again?
Quora.
Oh,
Quora.
okay.
They have a mobile app, a website. I use it as much as I use like a Wikipedia.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I've heard that.
it's great. Another
I
really
told you about it last semester.
Oh, did you?
We should go to that.
Another really cool site that is great for high quality traffic. High quality traffic is one of your best chances to turn it into revenue. So sticking with the subject, right? Did any of you guys use StumbleUpon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So StumbleUpon is you type in a topic for others that haven't used it, and it takes you to sites that other people have said. For science, I think this is a thumbs up, thumbs down. Cool site, right? Not just a site, it takes you to a specific article about that topic on that site. And they have millions and millions and millions of users. It's a pretty big network. I'm going to say even over 100 million. Big. They've been around for a while. And what it gives you is these curated topical articles on sites about whatever subject you pick. And the reason that's good for conversion is because if you use it, I read those. You're on the page for a while. The longer you're on the page, the more likely you are to do whatever that page is asking you to do. So they ask you to give them their email address, or they ask you to buy something. The longer you're on the page, the more likely you are to do it. And so, anyway, StumbleUpon's another great site. It's kind of like Pinterest in a sense where you pay to play. You pay to get impressions, you pay to get links, you pay for stuff to show up. But it's highly converting. So the traffic that comes from a lot of it converts to a sale or to whatever it is you're trying to make happen. Sign up for an email. Sometimes you just want people to read your article because you've got ads. And the more people that come read your article, the more money you make off your ads or whatever the case may be. So that's another thing. You can also advertise on Quora. I've never tried Quora for advertising. I wasn't around when I was doing that stuff. So
What do you think the best tool is for to crawl the web to see where your organization is mentioned or something like that?
Google.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean, for like social media, like somebody tweets it,
Yeah.
a big deal with, you know.
Well, so a lot of the social networks are closed to outside services searching them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like Facebook, you can only search through Facebook. So you can't go use any kind of third-party tool to go find where you are on Facebook.
Yeah, I could see that.
Good for
Facebook.
security.
But for Twitter,
Yeah.
you could, right?
Twitter, you
Sort
can, but
of.
they're making it tougher. So, but they've gotten a lot better. So if you go to search.twitter.com,
Okay.
search bar comes up just like Google bar,
Uh-huh.
and you can search anything you want.
Okay.
And it's gotten really powerful. Like I found I wanted to find my first tweet, and so I just went there and searched and I found it right away. But there's a lot of, actually it's a really good place to go to search for topical stuff.
Okay.
And you get a lot of interesting, it's really gotten a lot better there as a place to search for information. You know, other places like Google or like YouTube and picture networks like Instagram and stuff, obviously it's tougher because there's no text, right? But YouTube has started to transcribe, or maybe they already do, transcribe all of their videos so that you can search even for like clips of stuff. So like if you're looking for a line in a movie or something, you can find it on that, and it'll take you right to the spot. Not just to the video, but it'll take you right to the, it's at minute 17 or whatever. They're working on that. It might even be live, I don't know.
So it transcribes the language in video?
So you
and
can
then-
search video.
That's
Wow.
Yeah. So I know they're doing it. I
That's
think it
voice
might,
recognition, but
yeah, it might be
still.
done, but either way, so that you can find, so if
That's
you're,
what I mean, it transcribes it and then that's the metadata, right?
yeah,
Or-
exactly.
Wow.
So that, not only that, but I mean, I've seen demonstrations of it, so like I said, it might already be live. But like, let's say you're looking for, like a speaker, right? Some gave a really great speech, and there's a really great line in there you want to find. You can actually search YouTube for it. Not only will it take you to the video, but it'll start the video right at that spot where they're saying that. So, pretty cool. So,
I was impressed just to find out about the image search in Google. Like,
Yeah,
you know, like you
yeah.
can drag
but to
an
answer
image into
your question, I mean, so Facebook is closed, Instagram is closed, YouTube is closed.
That is for good reason, though.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
You don't want people searching your personal profile with Google or something like that.
Well, a lot of times that stuff shows up though when you search. Have you done a search for yourself lately?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times your videos and things that you're associated with show up, especially since Google owns YouTube. They're starting to give that higher authority for rankings and stuff. So I think what you might have been talking about is like Google Alerts. So that's a good way
Yeah,
to track,
yeah.
stuff. But see, the problem with alerts is it doesn't grab anything from a lot of the social networks.
Okay.
It's really looking at stuff that's going to show up on websites and blogs and PR announcements and things like that, news things, which a lot of times is not where you're going to reside. There are some paid tools for social media monitoring, what it's called. And I can't remember the name of any of them right now, but you pay a monthly recurring fee, and they do in some cases have agreements with some of these networks where they allow them to grab some of the data and search it on your behalf. But I can't remember the name. And memory serves, they're really expensive.
Well, Adobe has something.
Yeah, they've got Adobe Social, which actually it does that, huh? It does, yep. But I think it's pretty expensive.
It is expensive.
So it's mostly meant for big companies where they're really trying to, like
Yeah.
lots of people are mentioning them and lots of, because you can go in right now, Dave, you guys use TweetDeck?
I have used it.
So TweetDeck, you can set up a column and you can put in any term you want, a hashtag or a phrase or whatever, and then it just constantly searches Twitter, and whenever something comes up that's a match, it just shows up in the feed, right?
Mhm.
So what a lot of people will do will put their company name in there, not with the at symbol, just anything, or variations of their company name or whatever. And a lot of times what shows up isn't the exact match. They may have been talking about something else, unless your company name's really odd, and then it would probably be hard to mismatch it. But, and then it just shows up, and they're able to track it there. But that's only one network, that's only Twitter, right? The others are a little tougher to manage because they're closed systems, so.
I didn't even know really Instagram used it. Like,
Yeah, Instagram just announced a new thing. Do you guys use Snapchat?
Uh-huh.
You know what it is, right?
Uh-huh.
You know what Snapchat is? Do you know what Snapchat is?
I don't.
So Snapchat is disappearing text messages. So you
Oh,
send
yes.
somebody,
Okay.
your kids use it.
Mhm.
So pictures, video, or text, you send it to somebody else, and within 30 seconds, it's gone. So a lot of kids use it for bad things,
Uh-huh.
right? So But it is still kind of conceptually, it's a lot of people that have privacy concerns like it, because in theory, it doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it does on some Snapchat server probably, in their organization, but it's gone, it's not easy to find for, the general.
Just left it all over.
Probably, yeah, exactly. So, but Instagram came out today with a similar kind of a thing, where you can send people on Instagram, like I can send you just a picture, or you just a video, and no one else sees it. So right now, the way it works is, on Instagram probably is, if you have a public account, anybody can follow you and anybody can see your pictures and videos. If you have a private account, only people that you allow to follow you can see those things. But with this new direct messaging, I think is what they're calling it, or something like that, you can send people pictures or video, just one-to-one.
It's like getting back to email.
Kind of, yeah, and I thought, so I tried it today, I sent a picture to my wife, and I thought, this isn't that compelling to me, because I just do this via text.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go into Instagram, because you've got to add a filter, and you've got to do a few extra steps, whereas the picture, especially with iOS native, I can just click and it lets me choose text, and then it automatically attaches it to the text, and all I've got to do is put in her name, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't really, it'd be interesting to see. I'm sure that a lot of people, because who it's for, people that spend a lot of time in Instagram, they're there anyway. So, anyway, that's all I'm talking about.
In other words, it's good that they have it, but it's really not something new.
No, so Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook offered to buy them for either $2 billion or $3 billion in all cash a few months ago. Yeah, a few months ago. And there's two guys primarily that own it. They live on the beach in Venice. They have like 20 employees. They make no money. And they turn them down.
Yeah.
So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Waiting for something.
But they've got several 100 million users that send several 100 million Snapchats a day.
They're gonna make a counter offer there.
Oh, I bet.
They're done for now.
Oh,
For now.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
Because I think they wanted 5.
$5 billion. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Which is like more than the Washington Post that was paid, and then Jeff Bezos paid for the Washington Post or something. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's interesting the power of networks and platforms. And,
Yeah.
so.
We kind of roamed randomly, we're almost at 2:30, so do you
Yeah.
guys have any other questions about revenue generation stuff? Did you have more that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get to?
Well, I had a little thing, but it was a little more
Oh,
formal.
sorry.
So, well, no, I felt like this has gone really fast. Like that was a really quick hour.
Yeah.
So, that's good, right?
Yeah.
So, no, what other it doesn't have to be about revenue generation. That was the topic for today, but you guys all have my contact information, yeah? I'll put,
It's on the-
here, I have a card actually, believe it or not. Yeah, I can just give you one, you guys can share, but you should come down and sign up, and you might want to think about getting either a $75 spot, you guys can just share
All
that,
the students,
or one for your department, to have meetings down there, that might be kind of cool.
that would be good.
I think Maddie was doing it. Yeah, I think Maddie just wants to have a, party with some wine down there once in a while, but that's okay. I don't care. I'm just kidding. No, they're gonna have like departmental meetings, and he's gonna give it to his department heads and say, because we got a little Google website with the Google Calendar, you can just go in there anytime you want, schedule it. The card just gets you in, and you can bring in whatever food you want, so you don't have to worry about scheduling all that stuff with Sodexo and everything. It's really quite easy, and it's a fun spot, you kind of get off campus a little bit, you're downtown.
That sounds good.
We need
Yeah.
That would be good.
We got a big projector, we got a big
so-
80-inch screen. It's really nice with a nice projector, so it's easy to show stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's really
And
good.
I'm gonna be sitting in right from like.
Oh, yeah, you could for sure. It's actually really good sound because it's,
You
it's
know,
that-
get some milk, huh?
Well, that and I
brick,
just love it.
which
Okay,
is
so
actually
here's the
really
thing, I was
insulated
about to move
for
out
sound,
with my
so,
friend.
I mean, if
My
it's
family
too loud,
drives me
it
absolutely
bounces off it.
insane.
Oh, you need a
But if
space.
it's-
I need a
Yeah, it's
space
gotta
to
be
work.
really
I'll be
loud.
sitting at the kitchen
So
table
otherwise
and
it
everything
insulates
will
it
start
very quite
happening.
nicely. It's
Yeah.
really quiet.
I want a
So-
space, and if I'm gonna be
It's
surrounded
good.
by people, it better be people that
How's it
are
been?
computer science related
Yeah.
and that are working on things, so it's like,
So you
well,
like
I
that,
could
you
move out.
got the keyboard at the same time?
Yeah,
with my
yeah,
friend.
just my little
Or I could
keyboard.
just rent a room,
And
or
that's,
rent a corner, you know,
Magnet.
and that
Yep.
place is $50
Yeah.
and be surrounded by
just
12.
90
Yeah.
inside, just good cups up.
And I mean, I'm working on runway Ruby.
I leave my laptop in my bag
on my own.
and
Uh-huh.
in my car.
And then
And I have a desktop in my office.
Yeah.
but I just take this
Cool.
with me all the time. And I figure if I really need to do some work, I can just reach in my bag.
Yeah.
I'd do
But
that.
having internet all the time
Yeah.
I spent
is
so much
nice,
of this
and the
semester
battery
working on
band
it.
is nice, because I don't have to take it around the cord.
and piecing it together the hard way.
And I've always got, with
Yeah.
everything, between Google Drive and Evernote and that kind of stuff, I pretty much got everything I need.
You'll get a cell connection.
Yeah, this is a AT&T,
Oh, is he gonna be your mentor?
so it's their
Well,
LTE
he's
network, which is really pretty darn good
Oh,
coverage.
yes.
I mean, if you're in the mountains or something.
Oh, really?
Same for
Using
the
this-
same for the
those kind of
students.
environments, you know.
He does both of those.
Alex, thanks for doing this.
Hey, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys.
That's
Sorry,
great.
it's small, but,
That's
he's
okay.
good.
Yeah, I hope, I mean, that was fun, you guys.
Yeah, it's great.
So,
Yeah.
hope to see you
Appreciate
down,
it.
yeah,
Thank you very
yeah,
much.
you're welcome. I hope to see you guys down at the building and,
Yeah.
you know, we'll work on some stuff.
Yeah.
Cool, sure. Okay, back, I'm headed back down there, so.
Very good.
I'll be down there until the wee hours, working on my PhD.
Very good.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Yeah, then maybe somebody like you will hire me as a real faculty someday.
Well, that's all it takes, actually, right? I mean, apparently.
That's what I've been told. That's I could be a full member of the faculty now if I only had a PhD.
Only.
But as it stands, I'm visiting professor is as far as I get until I get one. So that's okay.
Thanks, guys. Hey, make sure you do the student evals if you haven't done them already.
Oh, we done it.
You done? You done? Very good.
Yeah, yeah, take classes.
Thanks, absolutely. See you next semester.
You using your Google Glass? Did you take it out of the box and